Welcome back to video 3 for Module 3, where we're going to be learning how to answer objections so you can effectively sort through the people and sign up the right people. So let's have a look at that. So in terms of main objections that we get as we are following up and actually collecting decisions from people, there's really three main objections that people are giving over and over and over. And I want to quickly teach you how to answer these three and then actually go through a actual process that you can take any objection that people give you. So let's have a look at first these three main objections. And while we're answering these three objections, please just keep in mind that anytime somebody is giving you an objection, they're not actually saying, I don't want to join, I'm not interested, but they're asking you to explain how they can do this despite the challenge that they're presenting to you. So for example, if they say to you, I don't have the time, they're really saying to you, could you show me a reason why this is the exact thing I need to do if I want to have more time? So if somebody says to you, I don't have the time to do this business, I'm already working 2 jobs, I'm also a student, I don't have the time to do this business. Something that I would answer back is saying, well, do you always want to be in this situation where you're so busy, you don't have the time to do the things that are really important? And of course, that is the question that they need to hear to understand that this business and this type of business opportunity will actually allow them to create more time in their life. So again, they're not saying, I don't want to do it, is they are trying to understand how to do it. So you need to actually show them a way how to. Now, number 2, the second objection most commonly is, of course, I don't have the money to get started. And again, they're only saying to you, show me a reason why this is the exact thing I need to do if I want to get more money, right? So when they're saying, look, I don't have the money to get started, but I totally see it. So you need to ask them a question back and say, look, if money was not an issue right now, would you really be very serious about starting straight away and starting to change your life? If they say yes, say, well, can you see why this is the exact reason why you need to find a way to get the money to get started, because this will be a way for you to create extra income. So you need to actually guide them through that understanding. And you see, the most important thing about answering objections to people is not buying their excuses, is not saying, oh, I understand, that's okay, don't worry. It's about really showing them why they're experiencing the situation they're experiencing and how the business may actually help them to change it around. Now, by far most common objection, that is probably the objection behind all objections, if that makes sense, is actually, I don't think I can do this. Or I don't think this is for me. I don't think I'm good at sales. I don't think I can do a business. I've never been in business for myself. And really, sometimes when people are telling you, I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I have to ask my spouse, I don't know if this is for me. It's always really about figuring it out if they think they can do this. So what I really think people are telling you there is, show me how I can do it and how this is simple enough so I'm going to be successful. And of course, while you cannot guarantee results to absolutely anyone, you can absolutely reassure them that each and every single day people get started in network marketing, and that there is a proven step-by-step system that you will guide them through, and you'll be there step by step all the way with them, so they're not in business by themselves, just for themselves, right? So when somebody says, I don't think I can do this, you can answer with the following thing. Say, look, I totally understand how you feel. This is how I felt when I first saw this opportunity. It sounded really exciting, but I didn't know that I could do this. I've never done something like this. But you know what I found is that each and every single step of the way, there's a proven step-by-step process that I simply follow. Also, I have plenty of people helping me, and in this way, I've been able to create results very quickly. So let me show you how you can do this step by step without actually knowing and having any prior experience. Sound good? So these are the 3 most common objections, and it's all about giving them reasons. It's all about showing them how they can do it. It's all about not buying excuses. It's about leading them to a decision that's the best for themselves. It's about reading in between the lines that they're really saying, yes, it sounds good, I'm just a little bit scared and afraid and not sure, and so on. So those are the 3 main objections. Now, in addition to that, it's really, really very important that you get good at answering some of the simple objections and questions that come up all the time. Now, the most common one, of course, will be, can you tell me a little more? And I think really very importantly, this can actually come up also as an objection saying, I need to think about it, And both of these, it's really important that you ask a question back and say, great, what specifically do you want me to tell you? What specifically do you need more information about? If somebody says, I really need to think about it. Okay, which part specifically do you need to think about it? What other information can I give you right now so that you can make a better decision for yourself? And, they may say, look, I don't understand that part about product or the package or the price or whatever it is. So it's really just a way of going into answering more questions on a follow-up call until you transition to the way where you can actually ask the closing question, which is so great. When are you ready to get started, right? So that one is that. The second one is, what kind of company this is this? And really, most of the time, people that are looking at network marketing opportunities that have either not in the past had any experience or not had any, great results building a network marketing company, they are getting a little bit suspicious, and they're trying to say to you, well, if this is network marketing, I'm just, not sure it's for me, and so on. And I think the best answer to this is actually straight up saying, look, this company distributes its products or services through a network marketing model. And I believe there's certain differences in the way they do it. And I believe if you have all the information to be able to make your decision, you will see some of these very exciting novelties and differences, how the company does this and how the products can also impact your life. But I think it's about being upfront and honest that this is a network marketing opportunity. It's about reassuring them that perhaps they don't know everything about network marketing, perhaps that, this is somehow different to the previous experiences they have had. It's about creating enough curiosity for them to find out all the information. So if they ask this question before they see the whole video presentation, then it's really about pointing to the presentation and saying, look, I just want you to see it. Once you've seen it, if you ask me questions and, this is not for you, I totally understand. If they ask you, things like this, is this network marketing afterwards, of course, then one, perhaps they didn't listen to the video very well, where they weren't paying attention, but you just need to be in an education mode. You don't need to be in a defensive mode. It's about being clear. It's about creating enough curiosity how this can potentially change their life and actually creating belief that they can do it. The other thing that people always ask is, what is it that you have to do, right? So I see there's a potential to create an income here, but what is it that I'm going to have to do? And, I don't have any experience in this and so on. So again, it's about educating them and reassuring them that you already have a proven track record by following a step-by-step system that your company or your team has. And you're learning this system, by the way, right here in this 7-Figure Duplication Secrets course. So it's about reassuring them that it's about saying it's okay. All you have to do is really share information with people. Remember how I shared my website and video with you? Well, that's exactly what you would be doing. Do you think you can share, on a 2-minute phone call, a video and a website several times per day, and then perhaps answer some questions, or I can help you to answer some questions of the people that you share your website with? That's exactly what we do. Do you think you can do that? So really point to the simple steps that you have done with them and show them that they can do that tomorrow. Again, it goes back to the duplication. If you're doing things in a duplicatable way, then of course the prospect is going to immediately understand with that they can do it too. The other question, this is similar to before, is this MLM or network marketing? Yes, I think I would always say absolutely, this is network marketing. I'm really excited because this gives me an opportunity to create a residual income, by working from home. It's a company that is solid. So again, reassurance and creating curiosity, or creating, a knowledge gap, so that people who've had some experience or some contact with network marketing and perhaps that wasn't all that positive, perhaps actually open their mind and say, maybe this is different. Make sense? And the final one is, is this one of those pyramid things? And I think it's important that as a network marketing distributor, you know the difference between a pyramid selling scheme and a network marketing company. And the main difference, of course, is that in a pyramid selling scheme, you most likely will not have any products and services that you distribute, but you're actually really just exchanging money. Sometimes there's gold coins or value papers and so on, but most of the time there's really nothing in return. In a network marketing company, we are distributing products and services. There's real products and services that give value to people's lives, that change people's lives. So that's a very important point. The other part about pyramid selling schemes that they pay on recruiting people, whereas network marketing companies do not. Now, don't mistake this by actually getting a commission out of a new customer or a new member in your company actually buying products or services and you getting a commission. That is different. But in pyramid selling schemes, they pay on recruiting. So if I was to recruit somebody new, there will be a commission for that. So that is a different thing. Whereas in network marketing, the only commission that you will get is when you turn over, where you actually help the company that you're a part of sell some product or services. Make sense? So these are really very important questions and objections to get familiar with. And I suggest that you write down an answer that is, that you feel comfortable with to each and every single one of these and keep them handy. Actually get to practice it a lot. And that as you're out there talking to lots of people, you're practicing answering these objections because you will get them all the time. Let's now have a look at this particular concept, the feel, felt, found concept. And I have used this in answering one of the objections just before, where I said, I know exactly how you feel. I felt the same way until I found. It's about creating a knowledge gap. It's about, first of all, understanding how they feel, that perhaps you went through the same thing, and that just creates a little more rapport. And it also creates an understanding and compassion. And then the third part is actually creating a knowledge gap, saying, until I found this was super different, until I found there's people helping me, until I found that this happens, and so on. And this usually, is a better way of actually answering objections rather than being antagonizing and, not actually being educating. This is a great way to go. Also, there's a very specific step-by-step objection closing cycle. So, whatever objection that you get, you could use this objection closing cycle so that eventually you can get to collect a decision and sign somebody up. And no matter what that objection is, it starts with, your prospect giving you a certain objection. You then handle the objection. You then answer a question back. If, does that answer your question, so that they reaffirm, and then, by reaffirming to themselves, they are more positive about making a decision. You listen to their answer, and then you attempt to close. Now, as you attempt to close, quite often the prospect will come up with other objections. And that's why, sometimes you need to go through a few of the cycles. Like first they'll say, well, it all sounds great, but I don't have the time to do this business. And so you'll handle the objection and say, does that make sense? Does that answer your question? So you can still do it. And the important thing is, guess what? This will actually create more time for you. And then listen to the answer and they say, yeah, that makes sense. Then you transition to a close. Now, as you transition to a close, most of the time after that, the prospect will come back and say, yeah, no, I can see I could still do it and find the time, but I don't have the money. So you'll go through a few of these, and this is how you attempt to close once, they've reaffirmed that you've answered one of their objections. Great. So have you already decided at what level to get started? So you're transitioning into actually getting them to make a decision how to start in the business. Or you could ask, do you have any more questions? Is there any more questions that you have? Or you could ask, great, when do you want to get started, right? So you actually focus them on now facing the decision that they're going to have to process an order. They're going to have to put down their credit card. So you start to transition into that. And if they have objections, they will, at this point, I'm sure they will ask you. So this is all we have to do. We go for as long as necessary, answering all the questions, all the objections, and transitioning to close the whole time. In this way, we have a service-based approach to selling. We make sure that they make a decision for their reasons and not our own. We're not convincing them how they're going to make $1 million overnight. Be really careful about that. It's not about convincing people. It's about sorting through the people to find the right ones, the ones that are actually starting for their own reasons, convictions that they want to change their life. That's who you're looking for. Great. So in this video, we learned how to answer objections, and let's now go to the next video.